Austin Fire Cadet Devon Coney laid to rest after suffering an unknown medical emergency earlier this summer, the department's first cadet to ever die on the job. Tonight, KXAN is the first to report a second cadet was also sent to the hospital the first day of that same training academy, less than an hour into training. AFD confirms both were for a serious condition known as rhabdomyolysis, muscle breakdown that can damage your kidneys.
These are the people trained to protect us, who also need someone to protect them. Tonight we've learned next week NIOSH, the National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health, will be taking a closer look at the Austin Fire Department's training academy.
NIOSH will investigate, then make recommendations to prevent firefighter line-of-duty deaths in the future. But KXAN investigator Kylie McGivern has discovered Coney's death was not the first time there have been safety concerns at the AFD Academy.
Yes, this is a sensitive story, and we want to be clear. Coney's autopsy report is not out yet, so we're still waiting to learn what exactly caused his death. But in the days to follow, 2 whistleblowers reached out to us saying we needed to take a closer look at concerns that prompted changes to the academy. Many came when Travis County's Emergency Services District 4, you see those dark circles here in red, merged with AFD last year and put seasoned firefighters through the training.
They're the men and women we trust with our lives, trained to rush in when every instinct tells us to get out. Turning cadets into firefighters, civilians into heroes, weighs heavily on training.
We have a high-risk job, and you cannot prepare a civilian to be a firefighter in 6.5 months unless you put them through some stressful exercises.
So where do you draw the line? Last summer, running up and down the Austin Fire Department's drill tower doing exercises at the top is when a cadet says a lieutenant pushed his legs in a way that caused more pain to a known back injury. A formal complaint alleging harassment and assault. That only conveys part of ESD's history of concerns with Austin's training academy. The story told through a string of emails between August and October of last year that we obtained through a public records request. AFD's typical 6.5-month training academy schedule was originally condensed into 10 weeks for the ESD cadets since they had already been working as firefighters. Bob Nix, president of the Austin Firefighters Association, acknowledged there were problems.
That was a really challenging academy.
In the emails, we discovered ESD4 alerted city management to what was going on, saying in the first week of training, 3 were sent to the hospital. Then 13 later needed medical examination and treatment for injuries, and 2 cadets withdrew, citing fear for their personal safety. ESD4 leadership warning, we have grave concerns about how many of our members will survive to the end.
That's where we kind of started learning about rhabdo and some of the effects.
We requested a breakdown from the city, revealing 9 AFD cadets have been sent to the hospital for treatment since 2013. A majority of them were for rhabdomyolysis. Rhabdo is a potentially life-threatening condition that can happen during muscle breakdown and lead to serious kidney damage. Causes can include extreme muscle strain or heat stroke, among others.
Have you seen more people sent to the hospital, more people need medical attention in these academies?
We seem to, yeah.
Last August, ESD4 requested in the strongest terms possible for AFD to take whatever steps are necessary to not allow another case of rhabdomyolysis in another ESD4 firefighter, saying they cannot knowingly continue to place them at such risk. ESD4 calling for new processes with documentation.
We did not work them out at the heat of the day anymore.
And AFD now makes sure cadets hydrate. Last year, the program expanded to include weighing cadets at multiple times during the day to evaluate fluid loss. Nix stands by AFD's training academy as one of the best in the country.
I can assure the public that these concerns are not taken lightly. We thought we made adjustments to make sure these things weren't happening, but apparently we need to look at it closer, and we will.
That closer look through a third-party investigation AFD requested.
And see if we're missing something. And whatever we learn from that, we'll incorporate. I have every confidence it'll happen.
We'll check back on that investigation that's happening next week with any recommendations given to Austin Fire. In a statement, ESD Force Fire Chief told us it is unfortunate that such an environment was allowed to exist and to mar what has otherwise been a positive relationship between our organizations. As for AFD, the department wants to wait on the medical examiner's report for Cadet Coney before doing any interview on its training academy. That autopsy is expected to be done by the end of September, when we plan to follow up. Kylie McGivern, KXAN Investigates. Back to you.
Thanks, Kylie. Last week, we told you how a KXAN investigation sparked an AFD audit, saving taxpayers $11 million in the agency's overtime spending. A big factor, hiring more firefighters. In the past, AFD ran 2 cadet classes a year. This year, they bumped it up to 5. And they admit it's a lot to handle.
All honesty, it stretched us thin. We have been a strain to the organization to handle this many cadets, but we do believe we're getting a quality training experience for all the cadets.
But remember, this investigation started with some former cadets reaching out to us with safety concerns with the training. They're calling for more changes to prevent serious injuries. One of them told us, if you pass out, you are ridiculed. If you end up in the hospital, you, along with your fellow cadets, are ridiculed. You can read more of their statements in this story in the investigative section of KXAN.com.
Earlier, we mentioned AFD cadet Devon Coney, who died on the first day of training this summer. He left behind a 5-year-old son, Davian, who lives in El Paso with his mom. Monday is Davian's first day of kindergarten. AFD tells us one of the division chiefs who worked closely with the family after the tragedy is planning to travel to El Paso to represent the department and stand in for the little boy's father. We'll keep tabs to see how his first day of school goes on Monday. Check back here on KXAN and on KXAN.com for updates.